important question while I'm drinking my coffee is, how many of us will reach enlightenment? And how many of us, well, will say that we've reached enlightenment? But we have not. That's a good question on its own. Because quite a few of us will. And when I say few, it's not like one or two people. I'm thinking beyond half of the United States will say it. Or more. Or they're gonna say, hey, I've tried to reach enlightenment. I never got enlightenment. That is, if you're not reaching enlightenment, you may as well just be screwed. Because, you hear about the person who created Enochian magic, John Day. He was the founder of all magic of Enoch, that I'm aware of. No, well, maybe not all, but during his time, he was the founder of a good portion of it. He got his enlightenment. And angels showed him what this enlightenment does. King Solomon never reached enlightenment, but he did reach power, which can be a form of enlightenment during that time period, till that time period is over. The person who created Reiki in the modern day, like in the early 1900s or late 1900s, I forget exactly when, he reached enlightenment. He never claimed it. He never did. Good question is, why am I talking about this? Why am I talking about enlightenment? You might ask, well, during this clip. So I'm going to answer that now before I continue. It's a very good topic to be going over because most of us will say we either can't reach enlightenment or we will say, hey, we've reached it, or we will say we're working on it. Enlightenment doesn't come at your choice. It comes at the spirit realm's choice. For some of you occultists, it comes at the frequency's choice. And I've seen it. I've seen it with more than one person. Where they're not enlightened, but they act like they're enlightened. A good example will be some of you Facebook people. You think you're enlightened, but then you say, I'm not called to do this. I'm not called to teach. But it's everyone's calling to pass down a teaching. That's just one example out of many. And if you're not open to it, you will never get someone, of course. But some of the grimoires during the Samuel trials, during the ancient days with the biblical, they were all burnt. Well, in the biblical days, most of them were burned. And this is what we have today. So, what about those people who are enlightened? What will they say? they're not going to say anything. They're not. They're not going to know what happened. They're not. That's just how it works. You're not going to know when it's going to happen. You're not going to know when you gain abilities. That is what I have to say. If you do not gain abilities, you haven't reached enlightenment. That's like, I've had more than one build in my abilities. To see things, to hear things, to know things. I don't see what I don't know. I see what I know. You understand? And now? Like, if I'm ever performing a reading, it's all based on what I know, not what I don't know. You even hear me pause briefly and say, I know this will happen to you, versus what I have to say. Now, I might be loose in the comments on some of these groups, but those are the comments. I'm not always using my abilities in the comments. The only time I am is if they ask for it, or there's a circumstance to where they might need it. So, I'm going to tell you about one of my abilities. Seeing things. A friend showed me a picture one time. And he ended up having this spirit with horns right at the door. Which I translated it out to be Cernunos. So, what is Cernunos? Who is Cernunos? He is the horn god of the Norse. Now, I particularly say of the Norse because more than one Norse god, well, one more, not one, yeah, more than one Norse gods have a horn, but he was the main horn one. But more than one culture has a horn god of some kind. Maybe not in the Greeks, but Navajo, you got a few. You got a few in different tribes. So, it really just depends on where you go. Now, he denied it being Cernunos. He denied it. It's because he didn't see what I've seen. His natural ability is to see things. My natural ability is to feel things. So I was not born able to see these creatures. I was born to feel them, to hear them, not to see them. But I grew adapted to seeing them, especially in the dark. If they're appearing in the dark, that's good. Last point I really want to make is, when is your journey? Because we know it's good to see things in the dark. I had to pause the video for a second. But what is your journey? Because your journey depends on how you work. The Reiki master, he had to relearn these symbols. Yeah, so, these are a few things to be thinking about. I'm not coming at this at just a witch point or just a Christian point, because you can, as a Christian, you can go with his methods, what is your lifestyle, but this is more going towards the occult, the Satanists, the Theistics, everywhere are in the witch community. The shamans too, of like some of these shamans who call themselves shamans aren't worthy of their name because they don't seek wisdom. The ancient shamans sought wisdom. That's how a tribe knew to go up a mountain. And that town was attacked. And that's when the shaman came down. They didn't know why they were up there. They didn't know any of that. All they knew was to go up that mountain. So, they did. There's just things we have to remember. What is your lifestyle? Again, what is it? Is it filled with spirit? Is it filled with enlightenment? Is it a path to get you enlightened? Some will say yes, some say will say no. Some will say, I don't know. It's the I don't know group that will make it, which will be 1% of us. Because you could say, oh, I know, I've been in this community for years. Or so I've received enlightenment, and my friend has received enlightenment. Hold up. You're saying you know. But do you really know? It's the I don't know group. If you who say, no, you're not open to enlightenment. You say you are. But it's the I don't know. So think about this. Keep it in mind. And post it down in the comments below. Because this will also be going to my YouTube page, All Things Occult. So I might post that link later on. This is really something to be thinking about. I know I'm drinking a frappe in the morning. It's a form of coffee, so. Well, I hope you all listened. If you're on YouTube watching this, leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment right down below. If you're on Facebook, follow, share, whatever you can do to spread my word. Now, if I blocked that person, you'll know, because you may not see it. This is a public account now, so everything that I post will be public for you to see. I don't know how that's going to work in the future, or if it's going to pop up in my memories with tarot or whatever it may be. But if you're on my private Instagram account, Raymond's Wiccan Life, I post what my updates are over there. Not very often, but they do happen. And I will see you probably in the next post, next video, or next picture. So I'll see you then. Peace.